All right, good afternoon, guys. I want to welcome you to the retirement seminar with LBRS Financial Group. I want to thank you so much for taking the time to just learn about retirement and how that you can maximize your retirement income. What I'm going to show you tonight, if you have a 401k or any of those qualified plans that I talked about, I'm going to show you how you can be able to have 300% more of your retirement income at retirement. And so I thank you so much. Listen, if you have any questions, I'm asking you to hold them to the end. I will definitely take questions at the end, but I'm just going to get right into the presentation tonight and just kind of teach you how that the product that we have with the IUL is just a much, much, much better product. But for those of you who don't know me, let me introduce myself. My name is Gerald Lovelace. I am a Kingdom Leader, life insurance agent and retirement specialist. A little bit more about me. I've been married for 21 years. I have 4 boys. I have a doctorate degree of theology and religious study. And I am pursuing my bachelor's degree in business and leadership and management. You know, I've been pastor now for about 17 years. And as I looked at this product, I think my position as a pastor gave me such a compassion for people that don't have the product and don't have the life insurance and the coverage. Because, you know, as a pastor, I've dealt with people that when a critical illness hit their family or when they loved one pass away, they have to do GoFundMes and benefits just to try to come up with the money to bury their loved one. And so this really hit home to me because I seen something that can really help families not have to deal with the finances while they're going through any type of illness or when death hit their family. Listen, I've been a restaurant. I started my first restaurant at 23 years old. I've been an entrepreneur all my life. I've tried many different companies. I've worked with some of the major companies as far as being as an executive and supervisory. So I've always been in the managerial or ownership position. And so, and another thing about me, guys, I love to educate. I love to educate. And so tonight, this is what this is going to be. It's going to be just an education. It's not a sales pitch. It is just something I want to educate you on, just to let you know that there is something out there that's available that you may not have heard about that can really help you with retirement. Now, who are we? With, again, Living Benefits and Retirement Solutions. We focus with life insurance, tax-free retirement, annuities, and estate planning. We are part of Freedom Equity Group. FEG started in 2002 by Ronald Blumenkamper, Ronald Petrinovich, and Bill St. Clair. Each of these guys have decades of experience in marketing, life insurance, and annuities nationwide. And so I want you to understand that that's what we do. We market, we are brokers, we are agents, and we represent companies. We are not the insurance company. We just represent some of the best companies and that have just have awesome reputations as far as providing service for over 100 years. Most of you, the big one, you know, AIG, they are the largest insurance company in the world. We write for them. We write for National Life Group, known as LSW. American National, we do a lot of our work with them. And the interesting thing is that Phoenix has been in business since 1851. And interesting note on that is that Phoenix paid out Abraham Lincoln's death benefit to his wife. And so that just to let you know that, guys, what we're doing is credible. We work with credible companies, and we have a credible and a credible marketing company that we are attached to. So let's get into it. Let me talk to you about the problems that comes with qualified plans. Listen, if you are a business owner, and then really I have a shout out to pastors that has been career pastors, or if you're in any type of business, or you're the breadwinner of your family. And a lot of times we think that because we work for a Fortune 500 corporation, or we work for a job, or they give us the the 501, 401ks, that we have those programs that that is designed to bring about retirement. Most people think their retirement is safe. And so they really don't look at it until they get to the close ages of retirement. But what I want you to know that a lot of these qualified plans that were designed by the government, the IRS, there are some major problems with them that, again, most people don't really understand until they get ready to retire. And so the first problem, most of our country's savings, about $17 trillion, is tied up in these qualified plans. A large percentage of the money that every day people working and putting away for 15, 20, 30, 40 years is going to be, it could be lost to market risk, taxes, and fees. So that's what we're going to kind of focus in on in just a moment, is why most people that think they have the money to retire, at retirement, they find out that they're being taxed very heavy, that because of the vitality of the stock market, their money was not consistently growing. And then the fees really take a lot of retirement money. You have to pay the stockbrokers. You have to pay the people that are managing your mutual fund, and their fees is pretty high. Market downturns can delay or destroy your income plan, right? And the thing is what if you run out of money? We're going to address that. Because if you notice today in the workforce, we have a lot of people that should have retired have to go in and start back to working simply because they ran out of money. And I'm going to talk to you about that more in depth in just a moment. Does it make sense to have a tax-free or fully taxable income? Absolutely. And you're going to see just how important that is in just a moment. So I want to ask you, what if there's a way to eliminate the market risk, right? The money that you're putting away. What is the way to eliminate the taxes and reduce your fees on your savings for retirement? Would you like to know more about that? I know you're shaking your head, and so I'm going to just continue on and get really into it. The product I'm talking about, guys, is Index Universal Life. It is known as IUL. It eliminates the market risk, and it is a supplementary tax-free income with the free check. Now, this is the awesome thing. Just like when I was talking about most people with 401ks, and I'm going to explain the real issues of why it is a problem. But with our product, you get income for life. When you reach retirement and you start pulling your retirement from this supplemental income program, it pays you through the rest of your life every year tax-free. That is good news. You don't have to worry about it running out. You don't have to worry about it because it's going to continue to pay you for the rest of your life. And so it is risk-free, tax-free, and low-fee plan is what I want to introduce to you tonight. But I have to say this disclosure. Withdrawals may be subject to surrender penalties imposed by the company. Amounts of withdrawn may also be subject to tax liability and tax penalties. Partial surrenders and loans may affect policy values and death benefits. So I'll explain that a little bit later. This material that I'm sharing with you tonight has been prepared for informational and educational purpose only. It is not intended to provide and should not be relied upon for accounting, legal, tax, or investment advice. Life insurance products are products of the insurance industry and are not guaranteed by a bank or federal agency, nor insured by the FDIC. All right, let's get into it. 401k. When 401k was created many years ago, it was created because a lot of companies, I don't know if any of you that is old enough to remember, but a lot of companies like GMC, 40 and 50 years ago, they offered what was called pensions. And but the problem is that they could not keep the pensions up. A lot of companies went bankrupt. Some just had to drop it altogether because the companies could not, afford long-term to afford a current payroll and then a payroll for all the people that has retired. So that kind of caught up with them. And so the IRS came up with a code in the Internal Revenue Service, which allowed people to be able to put their tax-deferred tax dollars and be able to put it on the stock market so that they can fund their retirement. They recognized early on that Social Security and the way you're set up was not going to be enough. Now, when we deal with this and you start looking at the baby boomers, it's the reason why they had to come up with some, because they knew that, you know, these 74 million babies that was born in a span of time, they knew Social Security, and right now would not hold them. And Social Security has already been in trouble, but today baby boomers are starting to retire. We have 10,000 baby boomers reaching retirement age every single day. So they came up with a section in the IRS code that says that what you can do is you can use the stock market, the S&P 500, and you can invest your money into that in more of a safe mutual fund type investment, really looking for long range investment type products, so that you can be able to fund your own retirement, so to speak. So a lot of companies jumped on that was doing pensions. Now they had another option that they can give, and they was giving a 401k, and the 401k just boom. It just really became the standard retirement vehicle for America. Well, at the same time, a few years later, they came up with Section 7702 in the IRS code, and this code was to allow not only just like the 401k where you can invest your money into the stock market. This code says you can invest your money into the insurance companies. Now you have to recognize that insurance companies have billions of dollars of assets. And so what they said was we created a vehicle or a way for you to be able to invest your money into the insurance industry and also be able to participate in the gains of the stock market. And so both of these are sections in the Internal Revenue Code. Now, this is the interesting thing, is that, and I told you that we represent AIG, and I give them such credit because the IUL is something that's been around for a long time. The thing was only the wealthy was doing it. You have your movie stars, your athletes, and your Fortune 500. A lot of them was using this, what we're using now, but AIG had introduced this to the middle class, and now we're able to give it to people like you, so that you can take the same advantages that the wealthy has been taking for years. And so let's look at this, right? So we talked about three areas. We talked about risk, fees, and taxes. So we're still dealing with the qualified plans. And I just want you to understand, hey, if you have a qualified plan, I'm going to ask you in the chat, if you have a 401k or something like that, open up the chat and just type in yes or no. That way I kind of have a good feel for the audience that I'm speaking to. But what we're doing is we're looking at the reason why the 401k and qualified plans is such a bad plan. And so we're going to look at risk first. So if you invested $100,000 in 1997 into a 401k plan, this is the way your money went up and down and up and down and up and down from 1997 to 2014. The market have volatility. It grows up, it goes down. And so you started out with $100,000, and then when the tech bubble burst in 2002, you pretty much lost money. All the money that you gained, gone. And then it started to grow back up again. And everybody right now can remember how the real estate market took a dive in 2008, 2009, and the same thing happened. So this is now, look at what this is saying. This is saying for a person that no matter how much money they had in their account, this person had $150,000 that they had done over 3-year gain. That's awesome. That's really good gain. They had $150,000, but when the stock market crashed, their money went down to $90,000. That is a $60,000 difference, and it's very important when you look at that money being compound to prepare for your retirement. You had people that was losing, that literally that was planning on retiring and could not retire because when they looked into their retirement account, their money had been lost to risk. I don't know about you, but I would like to have a vehicle that tells me, like the IUL, that says no matter how much money I put in it, I would never lose my money. I can't imagine, they said when the Great Compression and the stock market really hit their crashes, and you had people that was jumping off buildings and just committing suicide because, these people have worked all their life. They worked all their life, putting in $400 or $500 a month and preparing for their retirement, to wake up one day and it is gone. Well, with our product, guys, we remove the risk. We, as you can see, the IUL is the blue line. It is called Index Universal Life because the 7702 code, what it says is it allows us to participate in the index. So if the stock market grow 8%, depends upon the plan that you have, your IUL, the money that you put into the insurance, not on the stock market, put into the insurance industry, that money will grow at 8%. So you can see how the blue line, maybe not as steep as the red line because they probably have some aggressive mutual funds. But the IUL grew with the with the red line, the IUL with the mutual funds or the 401ks. But when the 401ks drop, you can see there that the IUL flatline. It flatline. Why is that? Because in your IUL contract, you have a zero floor, which means you are guaranteed to never lose your money. The awesome thing about this is they allow the insurance company to opt in and opt out. They can opt in when the index does well, but they can opt out when there are losses. Now, can you imagine that over the years, just like you can see with this, from 1997 to 2014, you can see that even though the stock market came back for the mutual fund IUL, the IUL still outperformed it by $20,000. Still outperformed it. But this is the interesting thing that I want you to notice about this. The IUL, that $240,000 and almost $50,000 is tax-free. That is money in your account that is tax-free. Well, with the 401k plan or the qualified plan, that $220,000 still have to be taxed. So let's talk about taxes right quick. Let me show you how the tax system works. So when we deal with qualified plans allow you to invest your money tax deferred. That means that you can put your money into that plan. You can invest it into your account before FICA and Social Security get out. So you're kind of getting more bang for your buck because you're not getting that 15% or whatever tax bracket you're out taken out. So instead of when you want to invest $50, you do a tax deferred. The whole $50 goes into the market. Well, if it was after taxes, it'd be something like $35 going into that market. So it allows you to put it in tax deferred. It allows to grow tax deferred. So if the stock market do well, you make $2,000 or $3,000 on your portfolio, they're not going to make you claim that on your income tax. But the problem is at the future rate, when you get ready to withdraw it, when you need it the most, the reason why most people are in trouble today, and they did not recognize that the money that they had available was really not all theirs because they had a partner called the IRS that when they got ready to start pulling their retirement, that their money started to be taxed. And even if they will it to their estate or do any type of estate planning, it is also taxed. So what we do with the IUL is put in with after-tax dollars. We say let all of that be taken out up front. Go ahead and pay from your plan from your net earnings. When you do that, the money is already taxed. So what happens is it allows to accumulate tax. You can withdraw it when you need it the most. It is tax-free for the rest of your life. There are no taxes. I had one person that I was talking to, one of my clients I was talking to, and they retired. They live in a state that have federal tax and state tax. And so they retired. Between the federal tax and the state tax, they was being taxed 43%. 43%. Can you imagine that? The money that you put in, and you work for and you earn, off the top, the government come in and take 43%. A lot of people really don't understand that when they sit down with a HR person and they just ask them, do they want to save for retirement? They don't go through all of this to understand what the qualified plans really do when you reach the age of retirement. And so when we say pay taxes now on the seed, on the little money, on the $300, $400 that you're putting in, go in and let the taxes be taken out and then put into your plan, because if not, you're going to pay higher taxes on the harvest. You're going to pay higher taxes on the harvest when it's time for you to retire. Index Universal Life, this is a book that is written called The Power of Zero by David McKnight. He says that according to Congressional Budget Office, if Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid go unchanged, the rate of the lowest tax bracket would increase from 10% to 25%, from 25% to 63%, and from 34.9% to 88%. The key is, guys, is that taxes is going to have to go up. They're going to have to go up. I know that, you know, Trump just made this big business plan, and it sounds good for business, and it's a boom in the economy and all of those things, but there is a deficit that one day have to be paid. And that deficit is more than likely is going to be paid because of the rise in taxes one day. And so we don't want to wait until 25, 30 years from now when we done saved our, you know, $500,000 and we got all money, we're ready to retire, and then they come in and take 30 to 40% of it, or you know, 60% of it, because they taxing it now. So that is a trap that the 401k is in right now. And I thank you tonight for coming and joining to learn and understand what's really going on with your 401k. So we dealt with taxes. So now let's look at fees. Tony Robbins, I know you know him. He said, invest like the wealthy, where you participate in market gains, but are guaranteed to never lose your money when the market drops. That's what we was talking about with the risk. But I want you to listen to him just for a few minutes as he talk about fees. This is really important because many people don't understand the fees that is associated with their 401k. A lot of them don't even see it because it's not on the front page. And they don't even know that they've been hit with these fees. So listen to this.
It's become a retirement plan of choice for all companies, big and small. Today, there's over $3.5 trillion in 401k plans. And really, they're the largest profit centers on the major insurance, payroll, and Wall Street firms. So by now, you think with decades of compounding, those baby boomers would be financially set. But we all know that's far from the truth. Why? Because there's a hole in your investment bucket, and it's draining your financial future. What is it? Well, Vanguard's founder, John Bogle, has been one of the most respected investment professionals for almost 60 years, calls the problem the tyranny of compounding fees. Your fees are eating you alive. Ironically, according to recent studies.
I'm sorry.
Expense ratios, wrap fees, soft dollar costs, transaction costs, account charges, redemption fees, deferred sales charges. There are more than 17 total fees that can be stacked up, all in that fine print. Consider this. Most plans are constructed by actively managed mutual funds. In other words, these are people, they're funds that are trying to beat the stock market. But in the last 10 years, only 4% of all of the 8,500 plus mutual funds have ever been to beat the market. And in any 10-year period, it's a different 4%.
Wow, isn't that interesting? How that the fees that come out, over 17 different fees that we don't even know about, they're usually on page 15, 17, and you don't even understand that these fees are being compounded. So the three areas, guys, that we talked about is risk, fees, and taxes. That's what we eliminate in your retirement. That's what allows you to have 300% more of usable income in your retirement. So I'm going to wrap this up very quickly with the tale of two brothers. I'm going to run through this kind of fast. What I'm going to do is I'm going to compare the 401k to a IUL. And so we got two brothers that both is age 35. They both is projected to earn 8% interest rate on their return for the illustration's sake. And so brother A is putting in $40 a month to a 401k, $100 a month. His company is matching, and he also have a $500,000 30-year life insurance policy for $60 a month. Brother B says, I'm gonna do the IUL way. He's only putting in $300 a month, but because the IUL is a insurance product, you cannot get the IUL without qualifying and going through the underwriting to get life insurance. So because of that, he also have a $500,000 face value on his life insurance, but he still is only paying $300 a month. So let's look and see who made the right decision. Brother A, because he was putting in $500 a month, $400 from himself, $100 from his company, his money through compounding over the last 30 years, they're both at 65 now, compounded, it came to $706,000. Brother B, because he was only putting in $300 a month, some of that was going towards his insurance benefit, his money only grew to about $366,000 a month. So you say, well, look like Brother A made the better decision. But it's not about how much money you have, it's about how much money you're able to keep. So let's look at this. Say both brothers, for the sake of this illustration, wanted to withdraw $67,603 a month, a year. They want to live off that a year. But this is the key. This is the thing where the taxes is going to start coming into play, and I'm going to talk about the risk and talk about the longevity. The taxes come into play because in order for Brother A to be like Brother B to live off, because Brother B's is tax-free, he is getting $67,603 tax-free from his IUL. And if Brother A want to live like Brother B, then that means that Brother A have to withdraw $90,000 a year because he's being taxed $22,000 a year at a 25% tax rate. And remember what we said earlier when we talked about when we looked at what the power of zero talked about, how taxes is even going to be more than that. Right now, it's more than that. And so with the qualified plans, when Brother A began to, at the moment, when the time he needed the most now, he's getting tax deferred, he's getting all these matches, he's getting all this stuff, his money then grew to $706,000, but now he's 65 and he at the point of retirement. He needs to start withdrawing this money to live off of it. He's being taxed $22,000 a year. But the key is with the qualified plan, if you got an IRA, 401k, 403b, if you have a qualified plan, now the only thing that'll take you out of this tax loop is if you do a Roth IRA. A Roth IRA kind of works like the tax. It allows you to put money in with after-tax dollars so it can grow tax-free. But the problem that the IRA, even the Roth IRA have, is that if that money, when that money grows to $706,000, you're pulling, whether you're pulling $67,000 out because you got a Roth, or you pulling $90,000 out because you have a 401k and just a regular IRA, every time you pull that money out, it is withdrawn from your principal. The sad part about it is if he's at the 401k pre-tax, after-tax, he runs out of money in 9 years. Now, if he had a Roth IRA, he probably maybe going to last about 12, maybe 13 years to be able to live a comfortable retirement. But that's the sad thing right there, because a lot of people don't realize that. They don't understand that because they never really sit down and understood how the taxes play a part in their 401k. And so what we do is, now this is where the magic of the IUL is so different. What the IUL does is when you put your money into the IUL, and you know Brother B in this illustration have $366,000. So what they do is they give him a $67,603, but they give him a loan every year. They give him a loan every year, so it does not touch his principal. So they charge him a 4% loan while his money is growing at 8%. And so he's always positive arbitrage on that. And so they don't have to worry about it flipping or falling because they're going to always be positive on that. And so the awesome thing is that they give him a loan. And I know, you say, well, loan, I don't want no loan, I'm going to have to pay it back. But the awesome thing about this is you don't have to pay it back until you die. When you die is when you pay it back. So let's look at Brother B's scenario. Every year he's getting $67,603, tax-free money, no taxes taken out. He also still has his $500,000 living benefits. Remember, Brother A, he had a 30-year term. So at 65, from 35 to 65, he no longer have insurance. But Brother B have insurance for life. And then let's fast forward to another 35 years, and I'm going to show you how the magic of this works. Brother, say both brothers are 100 years old. Brother B dies at 100. He's already received $2,366,165 because he received $67,603 for the last 35 years. That amounts to he used. This was his usable that he was getting every year. But the awesome thing is that 366,000 kept compounding because they never touched it. They never touched the principal. Kept compounding at 8% for 35 years. His money grew to $7 million. They called in a loan of the $2.366 million around about. He left his family $4.7 million. That is a big difference. And this is the reason why I wanted to educate you tonight on the IUL, on this new way of insurance, because it allows you to leave an inheritance for your children's children. But most importantly, you know, today we are living a lot longer today. And so we know that this plan will make us financially secure. This Time magazine said that a baby born today can live to be 142 years old. That should not be a surprise to anyone, because now we having people living beyond 100 has become pretty common. If the retirement plan that you are on, if you have a 401k, the retirement plan that you are on is only designed to last 9 and 10 years, 75, 80 years old. What are you going to do for the next 20 years of your life? You need something that is going to allow income to be brought into your home, brought into you, so that you can always be independent and always have an income for the rest of your life. And so that's what tax-free income does. That's what the IUL does. That is one of the biggest advantages of getting an IUL, is that it follows you through life, through the rest of your life. It is not something that will ever run out, because they're going to give you a loan on what you're doing. Now, you got to ask yourself, you reach 75 and 80 years old, and yeah, you retire with dignity for you know, a good 10, 15 years, but who's going to pay your bills after that? The government. They already $19 trillion in debt. And the way that it's going now, the debt is even rising. So they can't afford to do it. Social Security just would not be enough. You know, Social Security plan was never, I don't know how they ever meant for that to be a supplement income that will be able to take care of you at retirement. But it, you know, it helps many, but it's not enough to help you, to have you to retire with dignity. Company pensions, they're a thing of the past. Only companies that do pensions now is unions. If you're part of a union, you have a pension. If you work for the federal government, you have a pension. Work for the school system, you have a pension. But majority, and particularly if you are a business owner, you know, as a business owner, you don't even have a pension. You don't, and some don't have a 401k. But the IUL, I believe, will really work perfect for you and help you secure your assets and to secure your future. And so the pensions are becoming hard to find. And we know that what we just talked about with the RAs and the 401ks, your money is at risk. You have to pay taxes when you need it the most. You get ate up by all these fees. And most of the time, if you live a long life, you're going to run out of money. Our children, Social Security, you know, that works. You know, we move in with our children and have that's a possibility. But the question then becomes, can they afford us and maintain their lifestyle? And so that's just some things to think about when you're thinking about the 401k. So listen, guys, if you have a 401k, RA, I'm saying, listen, I'm not knocking them that bad, because it is better than nothing. But if you're really looking something to a modern type of security that will help you protect your assets, help you to pay longevity, to be able to get paid for the rest of your life, then the IUL is the way to go. Universal life. Listen, we cover, now this is the awesome thing. With our product, we cover not only if you grow old, but we have a rider that is attached to our product that if you get sick along the way, you are protected. We protect you if you die too soon, if you live too long. This is the new high-tech life insurance company product that you do not have to die to use, right? So it gives you income for life. Recap. This product gives you income for life, and not only income for life, but tax-free income for life. Your money is never at risk. You never lose your money. It is always compounding. You cut your fees in half, and you have tax-free income for the rest of your life after retirement. You have no costs, no additional costs. Chronic and terminal illness riders. So if you get a heart attack, stroke, cancer, if you live too long, you're 80, 90 years old, and you done lost two of your six cognitive or motor skills, where you can't dress yourself, can't walk, or you need to go into long-term care, nursing home, and all that, then your policy kicks in and pays you a portion of the face amount. This is the difference. Nursing homes today, they treat you based upon how you can pay. And so this would guarantee that you will always be taken care of for the rest of your life. And then if terminal illness, God forbid, you get diagnosed to where you can be terminally ill, you can receive up to 90%. And we have a company that also, as I showed the companies that we represent, we have one company now that will give you 100%. 100%. So Brother B, with a $500,000 life insurance, if he have a heart attack, stroke, or get cancer, he could receive up to $450,000. Think about that. How much could that bring a financial ease to your family if a tragic thing like that would happen to you? So if you live too long, we got you covered. If you get sick along the way, we have you covered. And of course, if you die too soon, it is still basic traditional life insurance that will pay out to your beneficiary. And so, guys, I want to thank you so much tonight for taking the time to learn about the IUL, the new retirement, the new way of retirement. If you have any other questions, please give me a call, inbox me. I would love to take a moment and just really sit down with you and talk about how we can help you, help your family secure a long-lasting life insurance. So if you guys have any questions at this time, you can do it in chat. You can raise your hand, and I will be more than happy to answer any questions you may have.